And welcome everyone to the Rhythm of Client Attraction. I am loving seeing who's in this room today. We've got some great heavy hitters in here, so that's awesome. Camille, great to see you. Amy, great to see you. Tiffany, just tell us tell us where you guys are joining from, and even drop in a little bit about who you are, so that you guys can get to know each other a bit. And it's a good way to connect there in the chat box. So definitely be looking for ways to do this. I'm excited to be bringing this to you today. This is a really important topic. I think that, anytime we're looking at how we are attracting more clients into our business, it's something that we want to be diving into, and things are different, right? Things are different than what they were before. So this is a time and space for us to really look at how we're doing this, and actually start. And as I look at who's in this room right now, you guys have been around selling before. You have done selling before, and so it's a great time for you to be in this space of, like, how do I fine tune it? How do I even just turn that up just a tad? And that's the power of where we're going to get to here, is turning this up. How do we turn it up so that you are attracting more clients, you're bringing the right clients into your business, and it's the right fit, right? It's that next level that you guys have all been looking for. So I'm loving seeing everybody jumping in the room here. So great to see you guys. And let's just dive in, because I've got lots to share with you guys. And we really want to create businesses that create that consistent revenue flow. And we don't do it by pushing harder, right? We do it by actually grounding in a little bit more, right? If businesses felt harder than it should, there's usually a reason for that. And so what we need to do then is we need to root deeper, and really root more deeply into, our messaging, root more deeply into how, just root more deeply into how you're bringing your message out, and how you're attracting people, and how you're having conversations create all day long. That's one that I think that I want you guys taking away from today, is conversations create. So the more conversations you're having, the right conversations, it's not just about the volume of conversations. I want to get clear on that. It is actually the right conversations, but it's deeper conversations that you really want to be doing. So you guys have heard this before. I mean, this has been happening. Trust is the new currency, right? It is. We have been in a trust deficit. We have been in a space where, a lot of people have had a lot of experiences bringing, get going out and buying and purchasing services, and there's a lot of information coming at them on a day-to-day basis. Every single day, we are all being hit with, 50 different messages from all over. So it's hard to weave through all of this. And so this is why relationships are so important. Audiences are craving honesty, safety, and depth. So anything that you're doing, you want to be bringing you to the table. And the leaders that are really thriving right now are the ones that are building relationships and not funnels. I will go as far to say as, and yes, Sherry, there will be a replay available. So anybody that, misses some of this will be able to get the replay. Yes, so let's dive in. I'll go as far as to say I think funnels are almost getting to be dead. We're getting to that place where nobody wants to be funneled to. So my goal today is to uplift every single one of you in this room. And as we go through today, if you start to see where your next level is, and how you sell, and how you have conversations, and how you market, I'd love to. I'm going to be offering up an opportunity for you to go deeper with me, and we can map out that together, so that you guys can really start to get to that next level in how you're selling and how you're bringing clients into your business. So your people don't need to be persuaded. They need to be understood. And so where we're going to start today is really getting into speaking your client's love language. Most women can feel that point where they're understood when they slow down. But keeping this alive in your messaging, that's where in a way that consistently brings in clients, that's where things start to break down. And we're going to look at ways that you can really go deeper. And you're going to want to have pen and paper today, because this is going to be some interactive work that you're going to want to be doing some journaling and some work on as we dive into this. So, what's that moment your clients are ready for your help? And it could be all sorts of things. They may be tolerating, they're ready to stop tolerating what drains them. They may be at a place where they recognize they're meant for something more. They may feel the discomfort of staying where they're at and they're really ready to get to that next level. It's that one moment, right? I want you to think about that moment, the moment that somebody begins choosing themselves, begins to choose themselves, saying, "This is the time for me to make a move. I've been sitting on this too long." So I want you to think about that. You don't have to speak to the struggle. I'm not one that actually teaches people to speak to like rub the salt in the wound and look at the pain and the scarcity and that sort of thing. I like to speak to what that bigger potential is. And when we start to speak to the bigger potential, we start changing who we're bringing into our businesses. We're bringing a different level of client into our business because they're looking for that what's next, that bigger potential. And they're not in the scarcity and the muck. And that's what we want to do is we want to have the right clients in our businesses. So this is where we're going to go. Speaking your client's love language. I want you to bring a soul client to mind. And you can put a name to that person and you just jot that person's name down. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Who's somebody that you want to be attracting into your business? It could be somebody that you've had a conversation with recently. It could be someone that would be a perfect fit for you. Good. You're even dropping them in here. I love it. You're dropping them into the chat. That's beautiful. Okay, so you've got that person in mind. And I want you to think about what their story is that makes them your ideal client right now. What is it about them that makes them your ideal client? And what's the desired transformation that they're wanting to get to? And this is when I look at this, we're looking at customer journey work here, and this really helps simplify how you're attracting clients into your work. So if you start to look at that person, you think of the story that they're in, and we're going to go deeper into their stories here in just a moment. But I want you to think about you're building your offers to serve this journey. You are building your marketing and your content to serve this journey, and you're building your sales conversations to serve this journey. So as you start to look at it, really bring this, get into the hearts and mind of your soul clients, and just really understand what their biggest desire is. That's where we're going to go with this. So this is one you might want to take a picture of. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide, but this is a way that you can go deeper into your client's journey. What do your customers care about? What's the needle that's there for them to move? What are the roadblocks that they're facing? What's keeping them awake at night? What do they need to know that they don't know right now? So they may not know for example, if you're a health and fitness person, they may not know the importance of recovery and rest days and preventing injuries. That might be an example, right? So, what do they need? Are they aware of the problem that they're on? If it's finance and investing, do they need to know? Do they not know about the hidden fees or charges in financial products that they're using? This is just a way for you guys to, what are the things that they don't know? What can't they see today that they'll see after working with you? That's an important one. You watch the transformation your clients take, and that's a great way to go deeper with that. What false beliefs do they have? And when I talk about false beliefs, that's something like you can look at, oh, that's going to work for that person over there, but it's not going to work for me because, that's what are the false beliefs that they might have? What do they need to believe in order to say yes to working with you? They need to believe in that bigger picture that something is going to be different when they work with you. And what are the conversations they're having right now? And that's a really good one to dive into because if you get into what are the conversations they're having right now, you start to get into their heart and soul, right? That's where you're going. So this is where I'm gonna have you guys take out a pen and I'm gonna just give you like 2 minutes to work on this. And when you look at that person's name that you've written down, I want you to write fast answers to these questions. Use present tense, um, no jargon, just use human words. Just use your words, like, words that you would naturally speak. And right after each one of these, and just I'm going to just give you time. So you're speaking to this person. You're looking at this person and you see, I see you when you feel, I know you are longing for. What feels heavy or hard right now is. What would feel gentle or supportive is. The person you are becoming is. And the next soft step for you is. So I want you to get into having this conversation with this person. And you're starting to see what you see in them. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to work on that. Go ahead. You've got about another minute. And if you want to drop what you discovered in writing those responses into the chat, you can. And also, if somebody wanted to, and I haven't done this, so I don't know if this will work. If somebody wanted to talk and speak, I could actually unmute you and bring you into the room here. If you would want to, share what you learned by writing that, you could raise your hand. And I think I can see if hands raise. Um, let's try it. If somebody wants to do that, well, you can try it. And I haven't done it, so we'll see. But otherwise, drop it into the chat box. Oh, there's a hand. I like it. Who's got their hand open? Um, Amy has your hand. Um, Amy Floyo. Okay, cool. Okay, Amy, I got you. You'll have to unmute yourself and put yourself on camera as well if you would like.
Can you hear me?
I
Oh,
can. I can.
it's not letting me on camera mic. It's not giving me a video option, so I
Oh,
apologize.
darn. Okay, well, at least you get to talk. So tell us a little bit about what this uncovered for you.
So it it was interesting because I think you know me enough that
Yeah, I know
soft
the work
steps,
you do.
yeah, soft steps aren't really my thing. It's usually action and movement and let's go. Um, but in writing out how I would approach those questions with them, I felt the energy calm as I
Mm-hmm.
went through the questions. It was like, because I see that they're feeling like frantic. And, I was thinking of a conversation I had yesterday, and I could
Yeah.
feel how unsupported she felt and how frantic and last minute there was no formal process. But as I wrote this out, I felt like that exhale of like, because I know I can help you in that. And then, like, the next soft step is really to trust me in
Yeah.
that. And I don't know if I'm like, is that a soft step?
No, that's a
Like
brilliant one,
that
right?
seems a hard step is like just to like give over to someone else, like trust my expertise that we've had this conversation and I know I can get you to the other side. And I just felt that big exhale. in
Yeah.
writing
Oh,
it
I
out.
love it that you actually felt it in your own body because, and so everybody who's listening, Amy is an event planner. So she runs events. So so people who are in that frantic space of events and being able to go, oh gosh, I could turn this over to you you know, and you can take this for me and you can help me with this. It's awesome that you felt that because what that allows you to do is to be able to connect with someone in at that emotional level, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And not just talk about the how-tos and what my formal workflow process is, but
Yeah.
like again, you don't need it's kind of like you don't necessarily always need to know the how, just know it's going to get done the way you're looking for it.
Awesome.
And I think I
Awesome.
forget that sometimes in the sales conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we can drop into that emotional state with someone, they start that's what we want to do is we want to drop into the feeling state. And that's what you're doing there when you're having these conversations with these words that you've written here. Thank you, Amy. I think you got muted, but um
Thanks.
okay, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. And so this, did anybody else get something that, that you want to share in the chat box? You can do that. Um, but this is a good exercise for you to get into the emotions of it, right? Because what you're really wanting to do here is you're wanting to get into the voice that they feel. And when they start to feel it, that's when they start to make movement. That's when they start to say, I know I'm ready for this change now. And most women don't trust this voice consistently enough to build their business from it. So this is really easy to understand intellectually, but when you are building your offers and the way you're having conversations with people, I want you to really to be able to drop into a different level of precision and how you're having these conversations. Again, you guys, I look through this list, you guys all know how to sell. This is taking it to that next level of conversation. And I think that's the power of what we're talking about here. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the know, love, and trust ecosystem. So what we've just talked about is like getting into your customers' love language, speaking your customers' love language. Now we're going to start to get into the how do you create this system, a marketing ecosystem that keeps clients coming through your door, right? That gets people coming to you and saying, because we can't be everywhere. We don't want to be everywhere. We want to be in the places that are most meaningful. And this is where we build relationship over reach. We're building deeper connections, deeper relationships. But relationship alone doesn't create clients. It's how you lead those relationships forward that creates clients. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So, when you are building what I call a no love and trust marketing ecosystem to get to more yeses in your business, you're starting to create this repeatable and scalable marketing system that attracts your ideal clients into your business. And you're building a no love and trust marketing ecosystem because it helps you build a pipeline and so that you know what's out in your out in the future. It's not just like what is it going to be this month. It's actually you're building a pipeline because you're building relationships with people and they're like, I'm not ready right now, but I am ready next month or I'm ready 2 months from now. You keep that pipeline going, and that's the power of that. And it's really this is the way to simplify and to streamline your marketing. There's you guys get hit with so much. This is how you should do marketing all the time. You got to define what this looks like. And that's the beauty of what I'm going to be sharing with you here is you got to define what's in your marketing ecosystem, but then you find the rhythm to create this in a way that keeps people coming through your door. Okay. So this is about building a business that creates joy and ease and profound impact on your clients. So visibility plus connection is what it takes to create this know, love, and trust. So you're getting visible, you're getting out in the world, you're putting your messages out there, you're creating connection, and you put those two together, and that's where that starts to build not just know, like, and trust. I like to say know, love, and trust, and I say that because I fall in love with my clients. I love all of my clients. I mean, I can look through this list and I know I have past clients, I have current clients in this who's here in the room right now. And I love my clients, and I want that reciprocal back to me. I want them to love the work that I'm doing with them. So know, love, and trust is a true thing. So this is where we're throwing out the funnel, right? We're going to say, no more funnels. I mean, if I have one funnel in my business, I'll put one caveat on that. When somebody comes into a program and they come into my world and they've downloaded a lead magnet somewhere, I have one funnel that people go through, and it's introducing them to who I am. And that's the only funnel I have in my business. Other than that, I create a marketing ecosystem where I can nurture people and they can come into my world. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So this is building a know, love, and trust marketing ecosystem. When we look at this, there's two components to this. You've got the visibility and you've got the connection. And you've got at the base of this, so you can notice that as a funnel, we would be starting at the top and working down. With a no love and trust marketing ecosystem, we're actually starting at the base. We're starting with people who are already in your world, people that have come into your community. You've built your mailing list. They already have had trust in you. They built no love and trust with you already. They've already come into your world, and you're having conversations with them. You are hosting events. You are perhaps doing an email on a regular basis or a newsletter. There's word of mouth and referrals, and there's strategy calls that you might go in deeper with somebody. That's a nurturing place, and they have the know, love, and trust in who you are. Um, Next up, I'm going to move to the top of this ecosystem, and you're working with other people's audiences. And when you're looking at other people's audiences, it might be you're getting on stages, you might be guest podcasting, you might be I do roundtables where I collaborate with other people who have, messages to put out in the world. I'll collaborate with them. PR, advertising, all of that's tapping into other people's audiences. And then in the middle of your know, love, and trust. So these people here are just getting to know you. And in the middle, you've got your education. And this is where you might have your own podcast. Your socials would fit into here. A webinar like this is like somebody is getting to know you more. And your YouTube channel, a masterclass, your own podcast, all of that can fit into where somebody can go learn more about what you teach and what you bring into the world. And so there's three levels of this, right? So there's the nurture, the education, and other people's audiences. This part up here is visibility. You're creating visibility. Here you're creating the connection. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to start by nurturing the existing community that already loves you. They already know who you are. They know, love, and trust you. So that's where you're going to start. What are the things that you could be doing there, right? So the bottom of your know, love, and trust marketing ecosystem is about engaging your communities. You have email sequences, direct message conversations, communities of connection. You might have a group of people that you invite people into, events, referral programs, sales calls, and conversations. All of that's about nurturing and engaging your existing communities. So think about how you are currently nurturing and leveraging the people in your community. Write down, and I don't want you to do all of these things. I want you to pick one or two from each one of these categories. What's one or two things you could be doing more of? Or maybe you're already doing it and you don't need to do more of it. But are you nurturing this community of people that's already in your ecosystem? Next up, we'll look at the middle of the No Love and Trust marketing ecosystem. And this is the education. This is about bringing your teachings to the forefront. One of the things that Google says is that people are taking up to 7 hours of content or consuming up to 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points across 4 different platforms before they're ever making a buying decision. And that changes based on different, whether you're selling B2B or B2C. It also changes. It's changing even in 2026 because we're getting hit with more information. That 11 touch points is actually going up. So, know that putting your messages out there in a way that people can go binge on you is a really good way to give people a soft place to learn more about your work. And this is why I'm a big fan of long form content, because this is a way that you can create long form content so that people can binge on you. They can learn more about what you teach and what you do. So it might be live streaming or webinars or workshops or retreats. So how are you sharing your teachings right now, and how often are you sharing your teachings? Just kind of jot yourself down a few notes on that. And then third is the top of your no love and trust marketing ecosystem. And this is where you're tapping into other people's audiences and turning up your lead generation. So roundtables, speaking, guest podcasting, strategic partnerships. That's a great one. I love to do strategic partnerships. PR and guest publishing, advertising, any of those sorts of things. So how will you tap into other people's audiences? Pick one or two. Don't do them all. Pick one or two. And this is the simplicity of it, right? Is that you start to say, okay, what am I going to choose in each one of these three areas? So that you're starting to create this ecosystem. When new people come in, they can come in and they can learn more about your what you teach, what your programs are, what you offer. People that already know, love, and trust you, that's in your system, can come up in here and they can join into your teachings as well. And that's why you see in this diagram, it's actually wider in the middle, because that's where the real meat of this is. So, where are your breakthrough opportunities in your marketing? As you look at this, where do you see your breakthrough opportunities? Drop it into the chat and tell us where you see your breakthrough opportunities are. The middle. That's often, Laura, it's often the place is the middle. And just finding a rhythm, right? I do it for me, I'll share how I do this. I do a round table on 1 month, and that is tapping into other people's audiences because we're all co-promoting it. And yes, I can show the diagram again. Um, so we're all co-promoting it. And then the next month I do a training just like this, that was based on the topic that we covered the month before. And then the next month we do a roundtable. The next month we do a training. So that's the rhythm that we do. That is helps us really start to do this. Okay, so that's how we look at it, how you build a no love and trust marketing ecosystem. And you only pick one or two things on each one of these, and you get really good at them, right? If you want to be on stages, get really good on it. Invest in yourself to make sure that you're putting yourself out there, in your best light, right? Um, Jolene, you're refocusing on nurturing your current clients. It's amazing. So often we can forget to not do that, right? That we can just forget to, like, oh gosh, we have all these people who have already followed me. And how do we keep them engaged and nurture them? So that's a great one. Um, Kathy, the middle. Yeah. Hillary just had a meeting to set up complimentary webinars, right? Yeah. And I'm a big fan of these because it gets people in your room and they get to know what your work is all about. So, as you're thinking through this, know that visibility is the fire in your growth. And the good news is we have so many ways that we can put our messages out there, right? We can do webinars, we can do podcasts, we can write a book, we can get on stages. Visibility is what is going to light this marketing ecosystem up. So it takes both visibility plus the connection. We talked about that. So, what skill would expand your visibility fastest? Like, what are the ways that you're going to take what we've just talked about and start to expand your visibility? So, this is Ruth, and I think Ruth may be on here today. I'm not sure. This is she has grown her business. She's been a client for multiple years with me, but she's grown her business multi years, 32% on into multi six figures. And she's done that by really building a no love and trust marketing ecosystem. She does stages, she does her courses and her trainings that she's doing. She's built a system to stay in touch with people. And so that's a really good way to keep building this out. So I love watching how, when people start to implement this, how it changes the shape of their business. Okay, so now we're going to talk. We've talked about the no love and trust marketing ecosystem, and we have talked about, oh, good Lord, what did we talk about? Was the first thing? Um, I'm laughing at myself at this moment. Um, Oh, how we speak our clients' love language. So those are the two pieces we've talked about. So we're building relationships all the way. So you get people into your community, right? Somebody comes into your world, they've seen you on a stage. How are you keeping in touch with them? Somebody's come and dropped into your socials and reached out to connect with someone. Um, how are you keeping them engaged with what you do? You guys have seen some of the things that we've done as you know as the many of you on this call have been invited on a direct message to come into this conversation. It's a way that we stay in touch with the people that come into our world. And so it's like looking for the ways that, I was on a stage last week. I've been having direct messages this week with the people that I was in the room with. So it's a way to stay in touch with people. And I want to look at sales as sacred leadership. And this is really starting to look at it through the lens of sales is an opportunity for you to bring your best work to the world and for you to create the impact with the people that come into your world who need your work. So, to start with, why do you do what you do? I want you to just tap into that reason. Drop it into the chat. Why do you do what you do? I want to hear some of the missions out there. Helping people feel safe. I need to move this here. I can see more of these. There we go. Um, Helping people feel safe in their own space. Um, Amy is it's easy for me and I enjoy it. The deep reason is to support my medically complex family as needed, right? So we have multiple reasons why we do the work we do. I love using my creativity to help build small businesses grow. Because being human centric is a better way to lead, engage with people, right? We'll change the world by doing things human centric. I love that, Camille. To give voice to all animals. Ooh, I love that, Linda. Raina, I wish I had someone like me for support through challenging times. Right. We've been through things, and very often we've been through these things, and that we know what it's like going through that without the support and help around us. And so we want to make that different for other people, for the impact and the ripple effect. I want women to take on empowerment that changes the world to support our values and heals the world. Love that. So women can live life on their terms, not the rules they have adopted without realizing that. Laura, I've been seeing you say this a lot, and I love it so much. Lisa, I I love helping businesses increase their visibility. I also believe that everyone should have photographs of themselves in their life as things change. Absolutely, right? It's like clear example of my silver hair. I've been getting shoots like crazy recently, right? Kathy, protecting people and properties today and for generations. Absolutely. Hillary, giving voice to tricky conversations. Barb, I do this work because I've lived it. I help people move through anxiety, grief, and life transitions by blending practical tools and deeper emotional and spiritual support. Laura, to support others through what I have been through, right? It's so powerful. When you start to tap into this, know that if you're going into a sales conversation, if you are really truly showing up in this space of sacred leadership, you are serving this purpose, right? You are serving this purpose of this space. So, how do you want to embody your passion for the work you bring to your clients? So, even stand up right now, if you will. If you think about how do you want this to feel in your body, how do you want to embody this purpose, this reason, the reason, the why that you do the work you do? How do you want to feel this in your body? And as you feel that, tell me the words that come to mind for you. How do you want to embody your passion for the work? What do you notice in your body? Oh, Hillary, I missed your give voice to tricky conversations. I like that. I want my work to feel expansive, and I also want that to be the outcome for my clients. So if you start to feel that expansiveness and your clients are feeling that, right? Kara, she wants her clients to feel calm and clarity. That she wants that feeling in herself. Kathy, strength, energetic, empowerment. Raina, calmly exhilarated. Right? If you are walking into a conversation feeling calmly exhilarated, they feel you. That's what you want. Ease and grace and joy and flow. That's, each one of you, open and focused, calm, soft, confident, powerful, possibility, the power of more. If you are feeling this in your body, your prospects are going to feel this. So before you ever go into a sales conversation, start to feel into that. Even if it's in the DMs, what do you want to feel in that? If you're bringing low energy to a DM, if you're bringing low energy to a webinar, people are going to feel that. So you want people to feel this, right? Peace and empowered. Love it so much. Okay. So let's look at sales as sacred leadership. And I want to start here because this might shift how you see this entire conversation. If you're stepping into a sales conversation, most of us were taught to think about sales as something separate from how we lead and something that we turn on, right? When it's time to sell. What I've come to see is that sales is actually one of the most important leadership moments in your business. It's the moment where someone is looking to you to see if you can help them. If you can help them see what's next. They're deciding, do they stay where they're at or do they move forward? They're at this pivotal point. They've reached out to you. They're just trying to decide that, and you're part of that decision. And this is part of the work of your work in the world. So, how does this feel? I mean, how does this feel? Does this feel true for you? Do you feel the importance of showing up for them? They've turned to you, and you guys are all experienced sales. You've done sales for a long time. And what I know, even myself, I catch myself if I don't, I wrote about this in my blog this week. If I don't pay attention, I can be too soft in this. I can be too wanting to keep it very comfortable. But if there's an opportunity to open the door to have, help somebody go further or to just help them stay comfortable where they're at, or there's a choice there that I need to make. And I want you guys making this choice as well. I want you thinking about it through that lens. So there's this moment. You can hear where they are. It's a real, I want you to think of a recent conversation that you've had with someone and you've talked to them and you can hear what they're navigating and you can feel where they're ready for something more. And there's this moment where it becomes really clear to you. You can see how you can support them and what else is possible for them. And then you don't say it. Most of us know this moment. I have done this. I have caught myself in doing this even recently. And so this is why this is actually I'm really passionate about because I've gone through so much sales training in my lifetime. And I caught myself doing this, saying comfortable versus helping them really step forward into this. So it's just nothing was wrong, but something more was available, right? And so I want you to think about, have you done this? Have you gotten to this point where, you see the shift in the conversation or see this, you see the opportunity, but there's a shift in the conversation and you don't go deeper. So just, has anybody ever done that recently or ever done it? Just give me a yes if you have caught yourself doing this. Yep, Camille. There we go. Thank you, Camille. Not recently, but yes, Laura, good. Brenda, yes, yeah. So it's just being aware. And so this is where I want you guys to start thinking about. I want you to consider that they didn't end up in this conversation by accident. Something in them was already moving and something is ready, and you can feel this, right? So when you stay quiet in that moment, it's not neutral. It doesn't actually serve them. So I want you to just sit with that. It doesn't actually serve them. So what's happening is we don't hold back because we don't care. We don't want to push. We want to respect them. We want to keep the relationship feeling good. And so if you stay a little bit more general, a little bit more open-ended, and the conversation stays comfortable, but that's always stays smaller than what's actually available to that person. So where do you see yourself doing this and where can you shift this, right? This is the shift that I want you guys to really look for. And And let's talk a little bit about the value for a minute, but probably in a different way than you've heard this before. At this level, this isn't about explaining your value better. It's about it's about what you can see for them. It's about you can see where they're actually stuck. You can see the level of support that they need, and you can see this bigger opportunity for them. And then you soften it, or you simplify it, or you offer something smaller because it feels easier in that moment. That's the gap. That's the value gap. And the gap between what you see and what you say. So when the gap is there, they can't fully see what's possible. So just notice in yourself, have you done this? And look for this because we don't want our clients to stay where they're at. We want to help them get to that next level, that sacred leadership that you have that you're bringing to them. And so this is where you can start to say, this is where you can really start to embody. Go back to the things you guys have already written in here. It's like how you want to feel when you're showing up in these conversations. Can I share what I'm seeing? I think there's something bigger for you here. Here's where I'd like to take you if we work together. These are all questions that help them see something bigger and different. And then there's the shift, right? So let's bring this into the real world. Think about one conversation you've had recently or one that you have in front of you, like maybe this next week sometime. Can you see something for them now? What is more, is there something more that's available to them? And what are you ready to say to them? Even going back to that very first exercise when we talked about being able to see and feel what we can see for them, right? This is your leadership edge. And it's not something you refine in isolation. It's something you practice and you work with, right? This is your leadership edge. So, where are you ready to upgrade your energetic posture around cells? Where are you ready to upgrade your energetic posture around cells? Would someone like to, um, oh, I lost my, where's, I would love for someone to share again, kind of what stood out for you through this as we went through this. Let me find participants again. So Amy was bold and brave earlier. Could we get another hand to raise and just share kind of what you took away from looking at this through this lens of sacred leadership? Brenda. Okay, let me see, Brenda. I see you. Okay, go ahead, Brenda. And Camille will come to you next. Oops, hold on. There we go. Go ahead, Brenda.
Mute. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. So I think it's a reminder to lean into my why in a bigger way when I'm in the middle of a strategy session or a conversation, and I'm picking up on the desperation or the fatigue or the out of alignment that the person I'm speaking to is in. That is my job to say to them, "There's a way out," and for me to lean into that with full heart, pledging to be there and support them when they don't know how, that there is a way, and that my job is to help them identify that way and support them in walking that path.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's where the growth happens, right? Is by opening up that door.
Yep.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Camille, go ahead.
I don't think I realized that I was doing a disservice to my client
Yeah,
by working to maintain the relationship at the level they're comfortable at instead of what I really do. And what I want to do is challenge them to be different, better, more. Um,
yeah,
by holding back, I'm actually not serving them or myself or my
yeah.
mission.
Right, exactly. And so the good work doesn't happen because we play safe in that space. So thank you, Camille. Thank you, thank you. And Raina, you asked to repeat the questions. I think the questions you might have asked are these questions, is that right? Um, you can take a quick screenshot of that. And Amy says, bringing the calm to the conversation, not just my excitement to get the job done, right? And so if you keep this energy of what you want to show up in, and bring that forward, I think that's you're showing up in that, and you're showing up in that sacred leadership, and just knowing it's your truth that you're really owning on that. Okay. Um, the last part of this is it's continuation on these sales conversations. Know that sales is a daily activity. And what we call points of connections, it's when we're reaching out to you guys and we're saying, hey, we've got this event coming up. Would you like to come to that? Um, that's one way, that we keep conversations going. I keep a list of people that I want to keep in conversation with, and an ongoing conversation with, and I make an active intent to go out and keep those conversations alive. If somebody comes into our world from social media, they're like, I've been seeing some of your stuff. I want to follow you. I want to know your work. Give them more. They're asking for more. And this is one of the things when we first started doing points of connection where we're reaching out to you guys on DMs, I actually felt a little bit uncomfortable. I was like, "Ooh, this is people are going to feel like this is like pushy or, whatever." And I am so surprised by how often I get, oh, thank you for telling me about this is coming up. I would love to come to this. And so that thank you is an affirmation that, gosh, people do want us to stay in touch with them. I'll tell you, email, I don't know about you guys, but email for me is I don't always read my email. And so we send out emails and we stay in touch with people that way. People don't always see our email. Some things that like my newsletter gets pretty well read, but there's things that we send out invitations to things and people don't see them there, but they'll see them in a DM saying, "Oh gosh, I totally want to know more about that." And so know that by again, this sacred leadership is really showing up. Personal invites via text messages and DMs have worked well for you as well. I love that, Laura. I know people do like a lot of text. I'm one that doesn't. I don't want text all day long in my email and my phone, so I personally don't use text, but I know a lot of people who do, and they're really successful with them because most people have their phones right there. So, Heidi, too many emails these days. Some send every single day, too much. So it's like find your rhythm. Somebody was talking earlier this week about, what's the right rhythm of social media posts. Find your rhythm. Don't worry what everybody else does. Find your rhythm and, just really build it from that perspective. Um, Getting out and finding ways where you're meeting new people, whether you belong to communities and you're doing networking that way, or whether it's all online, or whether it's you build your communities through speaking. Again, go back to your marketing ecosystem so that you know that if you're creating this in a rhythm, it becomes you create the processes and the system. So like when I was talking about doing the roundtables and the webinars every other month, our systems are built, right? We have a system. We have SOPs that tell us, so Jessica, who is my EA, she knows what to do every time we're doing any one of these. I know what I'm doing every time we do every one of these. It becomes a rhythm and it's very simple. And so when we're doing marketing, it becomes simple because we're approaching it from a systematic approach. And that's the power of this. Um, a good sales system doesn't just manifest organically, it is developed with intention. And so when you look at a sales system that you're creating, this way that you're attracting clients into your business, do it intentionally. Once you set it up intentionally, you can really start to build out your business in a way that feels aligned with what you want to be doing. And don't, if you don't like to do certain things in marketing that like feels heavy, don't do them. Like, do the parts that feel fun. That's why I podcast, right? I love to podcast. I love having conversations with people, and it's high energy for me, and it's a lot of fun, and it works. It's part of my marketing ecosystem that I do. So, you really build your ecosystems with intention and do the things that you're going to bring your best energy to because it's fun for you. I mean, I like doing these sorts of things. They're fun for me. That's what you want to be doing. So, when you are activating your what I call a nurturing sales system, you are prospecting, you're bringing more people into your pot of prospects, and then you have conversion events. So, you're doing things on a regular basis that people can get more of your trainings, more of your teachings, and that you're nurturing them, you're enhancing the conversations and the relationships. And that's what builds a nurturing cell system. The last piece of this is something for you to really think about. What's your commitment to yourself and your business that you're from an accountability perspective? I can tell you, I make daily and weekly goals for our team, for Jessica and myself, on how many POCs that we're doing on any given week, on any given month. And what we know is that that feeds our business. So we say, how many points of connection? Is it a direct message? Is it a phone call? Is it a coffee date? Is it a whatever it is that you're having a one-on-one conversation and you're following up with somebody that was in your world 2 months ago and they said, follow up with me this month. That is a point of connection. So every single day we're looking, how many points of connection are we doing? And we're not doing it from a, um, you know, we're not doing it just from a numbers game. We are doing it from a how do we stay in touch and in relationship with the people who have come into our world. And it's important to me to stay in relationship with the people who have come into my world. And when they're no longer there, we let that go and we stay focused on the people that want to be in that space. So that's how we create that. Um, the other thing I will say is, what do you need to cut or eliminate to give yourself time to spend on these important functions in your business? Are there some things that, just you're just doing because you've always done them? Can you let some of that go? What are the things you can eliminate through that? Um, and then the last piece of this is, what is your through line and does it carry all the way through your nurturing cell system? That's what NSS is, your nurturing cell system. So does the messaging, the energy that you want to bring into the world carry all the way through? If you do an event, if you do a newsletter, does it have a consistent through line? And that's another way to make sure that it feels consistent for the people that have come into your world, that it's a consistent message, it's a consistent energy that you're really bringing. This is one of my clients that I love to share her story because it's just incredible. And she was one that she had started a marketing agency and she was working with clients who were not the right fit for her. She had many, many years of marketing experience. She actually used to work for me in the corporate world many years ago. But she started to realize that, serving the landscaping company was not her best client. So she started letting clients go that were not her right fit. And then she turned to really focusing on the business development of staying in connection with people and having conversations with people. Conversations create. And she grew from one retainer client to, I don't know how many retainer clients this last year, but she closed the year at 500,000. From one client to nearly 500,000. She actually surpassed the 500,000 at the end of 2026 because she started doing that business development, that outreach, the connections with people, and able to be able to bring more people, the right fit clients into her business. So again, you're always looking for the right fit clients. You're making space, you're letting go, you're releasing, you're making space for the ones that fit. So that's Chris. Um, we're in a relationship economy. Your presence and your message and your trust are what sell. It's not persuasion. So just know that it's you showing up. It's the relationship. It's your presence. It's how you connect with them. It's how you listen and hear the words that they speak to. One thing I didn't mention today was last year. One of the most important things I did last year was I went out on a big listening campaign because I felt like things were shifting a lot in the women's entrepreneurial space. So I went out and listened. And when I went out and listened, I heard exactly where people were, and I was able to pull that into the work that I am doing with my clients. It shifted what my programs are. It shifted, how I'm serving my clients because I wanted to meet the moment. So know that if you haven't gone out on a listening campaign to your ideal audiences, go out and do a listening campaign because that will open up the door to you really be able to meet them where they're at. And that's really, really important. Um, so what we've gone through today, these are my pillars of prosperity that I work with my clients. We have focused on the voice, so how you speak your client's love language. We've looked at that, and we've focused on visibility today. So these are the two pillars we put focus in today. Visibility is the know, love, and trust marketing ecosystem. It's the sales process, and then the voice is like how are you attracting clients in with your messaging. The vision piece is really about the vision of the business that you want to create, the vision of the life you want to create, and then the right packaging and pricing and business model to support that. So those are, I just like to share that those are the, when you look at the body of my work, this it's always going to fall into these three categories, but this is where we spend a lot of our focus today. And what I know is that when we look at all three of these together, we can really dive in and see, where the opportunities are for growth in your businesses when you're ready to take your business to that next level. I've gotten to the point where I'm really good at being able to say, okay, let's look at these three areas and what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be shifted to help you get to that next level. And of course, it's the inner work too, right? It's the inner work that we're doing as we're going to that next level because that's always what guides us. Who are we becoming? Where are we going? Um, and so with the right community if you're in the right community, it's where you really build your embodied fire. This is the moments where you step into like uncertainty and you go anyway, you dive into it, you drive forward. The embodied courage. This is where you are stretching your voice and you're really finding the messaging that's there inside of you. And then the embodied action is like really owning the actions, the steps that you're taking to grow your business to that next level. So, what I would like to, this is going to wrap this up for us today. What I would like to extend an invitation to you to, if you want to take this, if this resonated with you today, and you're ready to take your business to that next level and you want some support in looking at your sales systems, looking at your marketing ecosystem, looking at your vision, voice, and visibility, and the three pillars of your business, I invite you to sign up for one of my prosperity audits. Jessica's just dropped into the chat box how you sign up for that, and this is an opportunity to work with me and just really connect and look and see how you can, apply some of this more deeply into your business. I'm actually really having fun with my clients right now in these sales conversations and how do we just tune up our sales skill sets. That's been a great thing for me to be playing with my clients on this month. We're actually doing a pipeline building challenge this month, which has been fun. And so just I would love to have a conversation with you if you want to take this deeper. Thank you all for being with me today. And that's all I've got for you today. Do let me know what your biggest takeaways were as you send me a DM. Send me a DM and what was your biggest takeaways, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.